I'm Ty Nordick with Tractorland Kubota, and this is a walk through our M7 Premium K monitor. When you first fire up your M7 tractor, this is the screen that you're going to be welcomed with. This is just kind of the home screen. Each one you're going to notice there's a bunch of different pictures. It's fully customizable and pretty intuitive once we kind of get through a few of the features here. So we'll start with the farthest left one here. So we got a 3-point hitch. So to bring that up, we're going to select the 3-point hitch and bring it onto our biggest screen. So on here you can actually lock out your 3-point hitch. You can adjust your height of your 3-point hitch. If you have a maximum height you want to bring it to, you can adjust that with the plus or minus keys or by touching the bar itself. Down here you can actually adjust your depth on your 3-point hitch if you want it the lowest possible setting with your dial on your arm console. Going to the next feature down here, that's your 3-point hitch speed. So you can adjust how fast or slowly you want that to go up and down. Right now we have it at 100%. This is your ride control on your 3-point hitch. Over here we have our draft control, so we can adjust that accordingly by using the plus or minus keys or by once again touching the bar to adjust it. And you also have auto draft control over here if you want to select that. If there is a radar equipped in your tractor, you'll be able to use this function, which is your tire slippage control, and you'll be able to adjust that accordingly in the field. The next column we're going to bring up is our PTO. The next column is our PTO function, so we can actually set a height that we want our PTO to stop at and a depth that we want our PTO to fire up at. So if you're running an implement in your field, you can set it differently as you want it to. If you want it to start up when you drop it down to 50%, for example, you can drop that down and pick back up when it gets to 40. Stop when it gets to 49%. You can set that. It'll also tell you which PTOs you have activated and how they're running. So next screen here is our hydraulic screen. In here you can go actually see each one of your hydraulics, including your loader. You can lock out all your hydraulics at the same time, or you can lock one out individually if you'd like to. If you go into each of these, you can actually set timers on them. So if you have a couple second timer you want to set on your hydraulics, you can set your hydraulics as a priority. So if you want to prioritize a certain hydraulic over your loader, you can do that as well. Or in here you can also lock out each hydraulic individually. The next screen is our gears and shifting screen. So here you can adjust how you want your gears to shift, whether you're in the field or in road mode. You can also adjust the sensitivity of your shifts during auto. Right now it's at 50%, which is pretty standard, but once you start driving you'll kind of get comfortable with what you like. You can set your maximum RPM spins here. The A and B columns, you can set memories. So if you're running an implement that needs to be at a certain RPMs, you can actually set the memory of, say you need an implement at 1500 RPMs, for example. You can set that at 1500, and then when you turn your tractor on and go to run that implement, you can press the A and it'll automatically put your revs to 1500. So you have two memory settings in this. Next one here is your drivability settings. So you actually have your differential lock here. You can set your differential lock to auto, so it'll set accordingly as you're driving. Your 4-wheel drive mode here, or 4-wheel drive auto here. And since the tractor's not on right now, these two are locked, but this is your front suspension control. So you can actually see the stiffness of your front suspension here. You can increase it all the way up to 100% or down to 0. With ability to lock out your entire front suspension or put your front suspension on auto as well. Next screen is your headland recording screen. So here you can actually record different field settings. Say if you're running a cultivator in straight air lines and stuff, and you've got kind of recorded depth you set it at, and then fire up your PTO, get your engine to the same revs. You can actually record all that. And then on your pass back, your tractor will automatically go through the exact same sequence that you just put it through. And on the last one here, we just have our operating conditions. So once your tractors fire up, it'll tell you your fuel mileage, what your battery voltage is at, hours on the tractor, and so on and so forth. And you can go through and actually record each individual time you're out in the field so you can see how your tractor's performing for you. If you want to bring up more than one of these bottom screens at the same time, you have the ability to do so by simply selecting one of the screens and picking one of the pages here. So if I want my 3-point hitch, for example, on the left side, I'll select the 3-point hitch, click it over there. If I want the 3-point hitch back in there again, I can clear it off like so. On the top here, these are pretty basic settings. So up here, this is just your volume of your monitor, your brightness, and so on and so forth. The next one here is all your codes that you're going to see. So if your tractor ever has an error or any kind of code, this is kind of where your dealership's going to go to get all that figured out for you. ISOBus connects, so if you have a baler or any other kind of implement that you're hooking up to your ISOBus on your tractor, you can actually run your implement through this monitor as opposed to having to get a completely different monitor set up for it. It does have a built-in calculator in it as well. Video record, so if you got any kind of camera on your implement or your tractor, you can watch it through the monitor as well. And there's also obviously the adaptability for using any kind of GPS system on the tractors. So and besides that, that's pretty well the basic layout of the Premium K monitor.